So are you also still analyzing the crop reports manually? Then this video is definitely for you. So hello all, welcome back to Pabbly Connect, and in this video we are going to understand how to build an AI agent to auto-analyze crop reports. So like you, I also used to manually analyze the crop reports, but this is such a time-consuming task, right? So to solve this problem, I've simply created this amazing automation where what is going to happen is that as soon as I add the crop reports into my Google Sheets, automatically my AI agent is going to analyze the crop reports, and further we can add that summary, recommendation and the risk level back again into our Google Sheets. So to do this, we are simply going to create a connection between Google Sheets, my AI agent, which is OpenAI, and then Google Sheets. And to create this connection without knowing any programming or coding language, we are going to use Pabbly Connect. It is an amazing automation software. So if you also want to create this amazing automation for your own business, then for that you have to come with me towards my screen.
Welcome to my screen. So in this video, I'll show you how to build an AI agent that automatically analyzes crop reports and delivers actionable insights. So using tools like OpenAI and Google Sheets, this intelligent workflow can scan through raw agriculture data like the crop type, observed issue, rainfall and the rest, and generate you the summary, recommendations and the risk level. It's perfect for farmers or analysts looking to save time and make data-driven decisions. So let's dive in and put AI to work in the field. So to get started, I'm just going to show you the working of this automation. So let's say that I'm just going to enter the crop type, the observed issues, the rainfall and the yield estimate right over here. And now my AI agent is going to generate me the summary, recommendations and the risk level. And as you can see, it has generated me the summary, recommendations and the risk level. That too in real time, in seconds, without any manual intervention. All of these three details have been generated and added right over here. You can see it has generated me the recommendations, the summary and also the risk level within seconds. So yes, this is no magic. This is the power of automation which we are going to create in today's video. And if you also want to create this amazing automation for your own business, then for that you have to watch this tutorial till the end. So to do this, we are simply going to open a new tab and search for pabbly.com/connect in our browser. So I'm simply going to search for pabbly.com/connect in my browser right over here. And now it is opening the landing page of Pabbly Connect. And now over here we are going to get two options. One is sign in and the another one is sign up for free. So if you are a new user, you can click on this sign up for free and you're going to get 100 of tasks free every month to explore the application. But over here I am an existing user, so I'm simply going to click on this button which says sign in. And now it is opening all Pabbly apps, and over here you can see all the tools and applications offered by Pabbly. But in today's video we are going to use Pabbly Connect because we are connecting different applications. So I'm simply going to click on this access now right over here to access my Pabbly Connects account. And now it is opening my dashboard, and to get started with this automation we are simply going to click on this button which says create workflow. And now it is asking me for the workflow name and the folder I want to save the workflow in. So over here I want to save the workflow in this folder which says automations, and I want to name my workflow as this: how to build an AI agent to auto analyze crop reports. And then we are simply going to click on this button which says create. And now it is opening the most important window of our automation, which is our workflow window. So this is the most important window because we have trigger and action in this. Trigger and actions are the two main principles on which our workflow is going to run. Trigger means when this happens and action means do this. So by this you can understand that the actions are response towards the commands given by our trigger, and that's the particular reason that we can have only a single trigger but multiple actions following the commands of our trigger in a particular workflow. And to get started, I'm simply going to select my trigger application. So for my trigger application, I'm simply going to select it as Google Sheets. So I'm just going to search for Google Sheets and select it. And now for the trigger event, I'm simply going to select it as new or updated spreadsheet row. And now it is giving me a webhook URL. So we're going to use this same webhook URL in order to create a connection between our Google Sheets and our Pabbly Connects workflow. So I'm simply going to copy this webhook URL, and then we have to follow this help text, and it is saying login into your single Google Sheet account, create a new spreadsheet and navigate to the extensions and then move on to add-ons option. Alright, so I'm just going to open my spreadsheet. From here we have to go to its towards this extensions, add-ons, and then towards this get add-ons. And after coming over here towards this get add-ons, we have to add an extension in the spreadsheet, which is Pabbly Connect Webhooks. So I'm simply going to search for it, which is Pabbly Connect Webhooks, and select it right over here. So as you can see that I have already installed this extension right over here, and that is the reason that it is giving me the option of uninstall. But if you haven't installed this extension, you're definitely going to get the option of install right over here. And once you're going to install this extension, you have to refresh your spreadsheet. It is a really important step to refresh your spreadsheet, because if you won't refresh your spreadsheet, you're not going to get the option of Pabbly Connect Webhooks right over here in your extensions tab. And once you're going to get this Pabbly Connect Webhooks option, you have to go towards this initial setup. And after coming over here towards this initial setup, it is asking me for the webhook URL and the trigger column. Alright, so for the webhook URL, we are simply going to paste the URL which we copied from our workflow. And now for the trigger column, I'm simply going to enter my trigger column, which is D. So the trigger column will be your final data column, on which if the data is added, the whole of that row will be sent towards your webhook URL. Alright, so as you can see that I've simply entered my trigger column, which is D right over here. And after entering this trigger column and this webhook URL, we are simply going to click on this button which says submit. And as soon as we're going to click on this submit, over here you can see it is saying setup configured successfully. So with this, we have successfully created a connection between our Google Sheets and our Pabbly Connects workflow. And now it is saying waiting for a webhook response, and in the notes it is saying do a test submission / record. So in order to capture this webhook response, we have to do a test submission or record. So what we're going to do is, I'm just going to open my spreadsheet, and now we're going to do the test submission. And in order to do the test submission, I'm just going to go towards this extensions, Pabbly Connect Webhooks, and over here we have to switch on the button which is send on event. So it is a really important step to switch on this button which is send on event, because now upon switching on this button, what is going to happen is that as soon as a new event is going to occur in my spreadsheet, automatically the details would be sent towards my webhook URL. Alright, so after switching on this button, we're going to move on forward. I'm just going to do the test submission. For that, I'm just going to enter the crop type, I'm just going to enter the observed issues, I'm just going to enter the rainfall and the yield estimate right over here. And once I'm just going to enter all of these details, automatically now these details have been sent towards my webhook URL. And yes, you can see that Pabbly has captured the response for the same. And now we can move on further. Over here, we have successfully completed our trigger step with this. And now whenever I'm just going to enter these 4 details right over here, automatically my workflow is going to get triggered. Now we're going to move on further. Now what I want is, I want to auto analyze crop reports. For that, I'm just going to use an AI agent, which is OpenAI. So for the action application, I'm simply going to select it as OpenAI. And then for the action event, I'm simply going to select it as ChatGPT and click on this button which says connect. And now it is asking me to add a new connection or select an existing connection. So if you have already connected your OpenAI account with your Pabbly Connects workflow, you can simply click on this select existing connection and then save. But if you haven't, you have to follow me, click on add a new connection, and now it is asking me for the token. And to get this token, we are simply going to follow the help text, and it is saying kindly visit your OpenAI API key page to get the API key that you need to enter here. So I'm simply going to go towards this OpenAI API key page to get my API key. And after opening this page, we have to click on this green button which says create secret key. And now it is asking me for the key name. So I'm simply going to enter my key name. And now it is asking me for the project. So I'm simply going to select the project and click on this create secret key button. And now over here my key has been created. So I'm simply going to copy this key and then we're going to paste it right over here in our workflow. And after pasting this, we are simply going to click on this button which says save. And with this, we have successfully connected our OpenAI account with our Pabbly Connects workflow. And now it is asking me to select the AI model. So I'm simply going to select my AI model, which is GPT-4. You can select any another of your choice. And now it is asking me to enter the prompt. So I'm simply going to enter my prompt. You are an agriculture expert. Give the following crop report. Over here, I'm just going to enter these details, and then my AI agent is going to generate the summary, recommendation, and the risk level. Alright, so I'm simply going to enter all of these details. First is crop type. So I'm just going to enter the crop type, which is sugarcane right over here. But we are not going to enter it manually like this, but instead we're going to map it. So you must be wondering, what is mapping? So mapping is a method by Pabbly, which means inserting the data from the previous step. And as you know, our previous step was the trigger step, where we selected Google Sheets as our trigger application. So we are simply going to map the details from the response of a trigger application only. And as soon as we're going to map these details, automatically my details will turn dynamic and change with every new response received. Alright, so now we're going to move on forward and map all of these details. First, I'm just going to map this crop type right over here. We're going to move on forward. I'm just going to map this observed issues, and then we're going to move move on forward. I'm just going to map the rainfall right over here. Then we're going to move on forward and map this yield estimate. And after mapping all of these details, I'm simply going to move on further and click on this save and send test request. And once we're going to click on this save and send test request, automatically my AI agent is going to generate me the summary, recommendations and the risk level. And over here you can see that my AI agent has generated me all of these details. And now I'm just going to enter these same details right over here in my spreadsheet. For that, I'm just going to add another action step. And now for the action application, I'm simply going to select it as Google Sheets once again. So I'm just going to search for Google Sheets and select it. And now for the action event, I'm simply going to select it as update row. And then we're simply going to click on this connect. And now it is asking me to add a new connection or select an existing connection. So if you have already connected your Google Sheets account with your Pabbly Connect's workflow, you can simply click on this select existing connection and then save. But if you haven't, you have to follow me, click on add a new connection, and now we have to click on this blue button which says sign in with Google. And I'm simply going to click on this blue button right over here. And now Pabbly is asking me to select my Gmail account, with the help of which I'm just going to connect my Google Sheets. So I'm simply going to select my Gmail account right over here. And now Pabbly is asking me for some permissions. So I'm simply going to click on this allow and give Pabbly all the permissions it is asking for, because my data is secure with Pabbly. And yes, with this we have successfully connected our Google Sheets account with our Pabbly Connect's workflow. And after connecting this, it is asking me to select the spreadsheet. Over here the name of my spreadsheet is crop report analyzer. So I'm just going to select the same right over here. We're going to move on forward and select the sheet which is sheet 1. Alright, so I'm just going to select the sheet 2, and now it is asking me for the row index. So for the row index, I'm simply going to map it. I'm just going to look for row index and map it. We're going to move on forward. It is asking me for many another details. So as you can see, all of these 4 details have been already filled right over here. So I'm simply going to enter the summary, recommendation and the risk level which my AI agent generated. Alright, so I'm just going to map all of these 3 details one by one. Alright, so I'm just going to map this AI summary first from the response of my AI agent. Then we're going to map this recommendation from the response of my AI agent. And then we're simply going to map the risk level to right over here. And after mapping all of these details, we are simply going to click on this blue button which says save and send as request. And as you can see that we have received a positive response. And with this, we have successfully entered all of these details into our spreadsheet. So I'm just going to open my Google Sheets. And yes, over here you can see the details have been entered. You can see all the details which my AI agent has generated has been added right over here. So yes, with this we have successfully completed our workflow. And now what is going to happen is that whenever we are going to add these 4 details into our spreadsheet, which is the crop report, automatically my AI agent is going to generate me the summary, recommendation and the risk level. It is going to auto analyze the crop reports and generate the summary and add right over here in my spreadsheet only. Like I showed you in the starting of this video, all of this is going to happen in backend, and within seconds in real time the summary would be generated, the recommendation would be generated and the risk level would be generated and added into a spreadsheet. We don't have to come back and again to our workflow to click on save and send test request. So yes, now go try this amazing automation for your own business too. And while trying this automation, if you have any questions related to the video or the workflow, you can directly comment on this video. And for your reference, I'll just clone this workflow and share the workflow link in the description box so that you can access my workflow. I hope this video was helpful for you. Thank you for watching, everyone.
So not only these applications, but with the help of Pabbly Connect, you can integrate many more applications. So if you have any doubts, you can reach us at support@pabbly.com. If you have any queries, you can reach us at forum.pabbly.com. And if you have any pricing related issues, you can follow this website. And if you find our videos helpful, do like and subscribe our channel. Thank you for watching.